and clicked. The button has been clicked. Ah. Guess we'll call that a sound check. Oh. So, Bessy wanted to go through the cards one by one tonight and look at each and every card. I think these turned out okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I like them. Oh, the spell book up on both sides.
What'd you say?
Said, ooh, the spell book on both sides.
Yeah, because I get 6 of them in there.
No, I'm fine with that.
You know, it feels like it ought to be enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you don't even have to use those. Anyway, we'll go over all of this when we get to the thingy. I think that looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Happy with that. And then on the flip side, it's got the rules for the unstable vortex. So
nice.
it uses the inside of the card for something. And then we got, what is it, 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 15 of those.
No.
15 of those. Oh, we got the Agonali Bloodstone.
We got a Nay, we got a David from Kyushu, we have a Bob, a Kenneth,
Hydra's Tears, Hyksos Fragment,
Lycus.
Spirit Familiar.
You're showing everybody this stuff before it's time.
Is it not time yet?
No, we saw
This is
3
what
minutes.
our early birds get bonus treats. For King Focus, Seal of
This
Solomon.
is the worm.
Archimedes. What is it?
So that's the worm.
This is the worm. Behold my worm. Enochian idol. Can you believe how much we just continuously reuse the same art over and over again? Like this?
It's the bang for your buck.
I know. What's the cheapskates? This goes all the way back to the original Perilous Island.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's... Yeah.
That goes all the way back to the original Perilous Island book. And this one, and then there's some in here from, I don't remember if this was Tomb of the Serpent or Lost World of Lemuria. Either one of those that was originally drawn from. Some of these are snippets.
It belongs in a
That one?
in a basement.
In a basement. It belongs in a basement.
That's the second version.
Sequoia's Pipe.
That's the second edition.
Cross of Cortez. And like the names and the artwork is also from, a lot of these are direct from It Belongs in a Museum.
Or, as the kids call it,
It belongs in a basement. Belongs in a basement. We're going to go officially live in a little less than
that should be the
uno
game you make for Mom.
minuto. It's the next one we do is It Belongs in a Basement.
Yeah, for Mom, for Christmas.
Oh, for your mom?
Yeah.
It belongs in a basement. So, I want to try to... Oh, here, wait. I think I'm getting a text message.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My friend Scam. My buddy Scam Likely calls fairly often. I got him on speed dial.
I bet you do.
So, some cool cards here. So, I'm hoping to actually offer this up. So, the other thing that's missing here from what I would call the collectors, the
pink crayon,
is for scale purposes only. You do not actually receive the pink crayon.
This phone does belong in the museum.
It is just there for scale, for a sense of scale, because otherwise you wouldn't know how big
think this
all
will
of
help
these
you.
things were.
Look how tiny everything else looks in comparison.
Yeah. So this will be the collector's set, except for I think it's missing one thing, which would be the custom name card.
Mhm.
And the custom name cards, when we do those, it's 8 o'clock. And that means I'm supposed to say something along the lines of, "Hey everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and I am with the world's most dangerous Bessy."
Oh,
On the main stage, remember to tip your wait staff.
mhm. The phone can't go. It's being used currently by a 3-year-old princess.
She got her princess shoes this
She
week,
did.
so that was pretty high end.
And
she's been
tiara.
wearing and a tiara, so she's been wearing those and
literally
having,
to sleep, to nap.
yeah.
She has the imprint from the tiara branded into her forehead.
So I don't want to get. Oh, what's this?
It's all in your head. More than words. Mental illness collection.
That looks really interesting.
That's you.
Yeah, they know their audience. They know what to put on there.
Yeah.
So who wants to look at the cards? Who wants to? First, I want to put a disclaimer up. It's quite likely that a lot of this stuff will end up getting changed. I don't know.
50-50?
Yeah, I mean, so that's not quite likely, but it is likely. It is.
We'll
There's
say
a
it this way.
chance
There's probably at least a 50-50 shot
that
that
some of the stuff,
something in
some
here is
things,
misspelled, and
Yeah.
we will have to go back in and change
So
it.
Bessy wanted to go through each individual card
I did not.
tonight
I didn't.
and read them to you, and I will sit here while she reads the cards. Do you know that she does that for me? Did you guys know?
I
And
do.
she has to read it out loud. So practically everything I write, Bessy has to endure actually reading it and reading it out loud to me, which, you know,
No, that
she has the voice of an angel, so I love hearing her
I
read
do
the
opt
stuff.
because my brain will change your words to the correct words if I just read it.
Yeah. If you, so it's
I
why we have to
edit
get,
as I go, so I have to read it out
oh,
loud.
I have
so
to
then
read
be
it
like,
out loud.
why are all these extra S's here?
So I just want to let everybody know that we've sent a few copies off for playtesting of this current version, and so if anybody else, Nay got an earlier version, maybe I ought to send her one of the more recent versions so she can kind of see how it's progressed, and it has changed significantly,
Yeah, I was
Nay,
gonna
from the
say,
early versions.
what even version did
Yeah,
we give
the
her?
early versions, so they have changed significantly. So let's start at the front of the stack and just kind of work our way through it a little bit. Just kind of talk about some of the things that will be coming in the spell deck. Now, I do want to point out that we are intending to do a spell deck, which is the spell. Oh, we're going to go through everything that's possibly going to be in it. But then we're also intending to do a little booklet as well. Maybe about 25 pages or so. So some sort of small comic
Like the quick
book,
start guide.
anime. Yes, exactly like the quick start guide. If I have my druthers, it will be exactly the same as the quick start guide in dimensions and everything. So it's slightly smaller than our regular rule book. Stapled, folded, what do they call that? The staple bind? I don't remember what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. Just like old-fashioned comic book sort of deal. Which makes it really easy to flip it open and keep it open and stuff like that.
Especially for our graphs and our
Yes,
tables.
yes. So right now, let's just take a look at the spell deck. Look at the beautiful, Luke Parker, bless his heart, let us use his skulls and stuff. Well, I mean, we paid him, so it's not like he's doing it
5 pennies.
out of the goodness of his heart or anything like that. So this is what the front of the deck could look like. Who knows, really. The back of the card is important to hold on to, so don't just throw that card away. A lot of our stuff, we like using the backs of the cards to make sure that we have, all the bang for the buck that we could have in there. So, unstable vortex, just a real quick thing about the unstable vortex. The unstable vortex coming into play is going to be very rare. So there's so I don't want you to be afraid or to be excited.
No, you should be afraid.
About the idea that the unstable vortex is going
Not
to
everybody
splash
should be a
onto
caster.
the table. But here it is. Here's the one that I had printed up on a Amish war disc. So
whittled up?
lovely. Yeah. And Pulp Alley Unstable Vortex, so that could pop up onto the table and wander around. Not actually wander, but it's a hunting thing. So, for right now, the way it's written, for the unstable vortex to occur, first, it happens when you're casting a spell and you fail to roll any successes. So once you start fiddling with the eldritch powers and tuck it in there and start twisting threads and stuff, if you don't handle it properly, things can go wonky. So if you fail to roll any successes, zero successes.
De nada.
Zero.
Zilch.
Zero successes. So what that means also is that low-level casters are going to have a more dangerous time, right? If you give somebody, like, you want to do like a level 2 spellcaster, and they don't have a very good skills in the spell that they're trying to cast, they could be causing harm to themselves and others frequently. So the way it works is, if you roll 0 successes, you draw X horror cards. And I want to remind you that I did not say that you roll X horror checks. You draw X horror cards.
So if I draw 3, I get
you get
3
you get
horror
3
cards.
You get 3 horror cards. So,
See that math?
for example,
See how that math
remember
works?
X is always this number in the bottom corner. If you drew this one, you'd draw 1 horror card. If you drew this one, you'd draw 2 horror cards. If you drew this one, you would get 2 horror cards. And be sure and look for the flame icon, boys and girls, because if the flame icon appears on your X card, that is what causes the unstable vortex to appear. So, in general, and it really comes down to how you use your spellcasters and how, how dangerous you want to be with your spellcasters. So, you can easily play 2 or 3 games and not roll 0 successes at all. Like,
Unless they roll like you and me.
unless you, it could happen maybe about once a game, but easily you could go 2 or 3 games without failing to roll any successes. It doesn't, So,
And you don't necessarily get the vortex
right.
every time in
Yeah.
that 1 or 2 times
Right.
that it does
And
happen.
then just because you failed to roll doesn't mean the vortex is appearing. The vortex only, so it's a rare occurrence of a rare occurrence. So I don't want to get anybody like bent out of shape that the vortex is going to cause all kinds of crazy havoc. Because even when it's on the table, it's not really that big a deal. It appears towards the center of the table, and it moves towards the nearest spellcaster. But it is a perilous area. It does block line of sight, and a spellcaster that's in contact with it cannot cast spells, so you can't really hide in it. Not a
But you
spellcaster.
could, in theory, use it to your advantage if I wanted to run and hide behind somebody I didn't like. Then that vortex would go straight.
Yes,
them
you can
and
kite it.
them-
You could kite it. You can lure it. You could try to draw it in a specific direction. The nearest spellcaster to it's going to control its movement. Now, there's also a magic item, and I think it's Hydra's Tears.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Hydra's Tears, which says, once per scenario, put a unstable vortex in play. So there you go. So, you can, if you really want an unstable vortex, there you go. Spend 3 points and you can put an unstable vortex in play.
But it's so pretty.
It is adorable. And it's the artwork that I used over and over again because
once again, can I steal this?
I have no money, so I have to just use the same pictures.
We had to whittle.
Often. Let's keep going through this stack of cards. So that was the first card. So we went through the first card in a matter of 15 minutes. Yeah, we're on good time. Okay, so here are the spell
Buckle
book
up, Buttercups.
cards.
It's going to take a while.
So don't feel obligated to use these. Like I would save these for characters that you're planning on using over and over through a campaign and stuff like that. And as they get spells, you're going to want to. Most of the time, it's perfectly fine to. I'm going to back up a little bit. It's always fine to just jot the spells down on a piece of paper. You're going to want to write down which spells belong to which characters, though. You don't have to use the fancy schmancy spell book.
And in reality, you're not using those during the game. You're using the actual spell cards.
Correct.
So that is just a nice little reference. It's a pretty thing to have.
So you can keep track of what your spells are and for
the
so
spell
if
cards
Lady
are
Elaine
be the ones
starts
that are more,
learning spells, she's going to want to have something where she can write them down. And Lady Elaine has picked up these spells through her studies.
And fun fact, you can put tape on it and write them in.
Yeah, or put it in a plastic sleeve and use a marker or something like that. Yep, good idea.
There are thrifty ways.
Yes, indeed. So there are 15 enchantment spells, so they are kind of have a slightly more purplish background. So and they say enchantment. The ephemeral spells have a slightly more bluish background
and say
ephemeral. So pretty quick and easy to separate the two stacks out. Enchantments are spells that will frequently remain in play. And it's important to remember that because a spell has like one power, that doesn't mean that it's going away next turn. The rules about it are that a spell with a single point of power in it could last for the entire scenario. That's not what determines its duration. It kind of does, but not a hard and fast rule. So, especially enchantments that you cast on yourself or your other friendly characters, those enchantments are relatively safe. So, like little buff spells, if you want to try and cast a strength spell on somebody, or to help them with their aim, and stuff like that, then you can cast friendly enchantments or an armor enchantment and yada yada yada. Enchantments that you put on enemy characters, they do have a chance at the end of each turn. It's called a spell recovery check. And guess how it works? You roll a d6 at the end of the turn. If you pass it, you get to remove one of the counters off of one of the spells that's attached.
So it's like
to
a normal recovery check?
Yes, except it's got the word spell in front of it. Works exactly like a horror recovery
check. See how that
check.
math works?
Yeah. So, we once we find a rule we like, we just pretty much stick with it over and over again.
Just like our artwork.
Yeah, just like our artwork. Yeah. And then, so they could force those enchantments off of them. Enchantments also, once you only get to cast it once, you cannot recast it while it's in play.
Yeah.
So if you cast a strength spell on Bob, you can't cast a strength spell on Sue the next turn unless you take it from Bob and then you can give it to Sue. So each spell can be in each of your spells can be in play one at a time. You can't have multiples of the same spell in play of your own spells. That was really confusing.
It comes with the. Does the book come with the decks? There will be like a combo.
They are sold separately, but of course you can get them as a combo. So of course there'll be a PDF version as well. I think at the start, most people will probably want to get both of them together as a combo, but we try not to force that. If somebody wanted to get the cards but then just wanted the PDF, they could go that route too.
Yeah.
See what folks are having to say. David Kyrie, Vortex is spell like stale beer. Wow. Got to get your money's worth out of that art. Yes, indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. Plastic sleeves. Well, yep. You for writing things in blood, and we all know that writing in blood makes it more powerful. Yes, indeed. Just like the Kiss comic books. Skill issue. Get better blood. Did you say that the instruction book will be available separate or will be included when you buy the cards? They will be separate purchases. We're not going to force you to buy both of them at the same time. Again, if you wanted one and not the other, whatever, well, you need to go on a quest for the book. I do want to have... Now, these are the basic spells, and these are intended to be available without too much fuss.
I just thought of something funny, but Gilligan's Island.
But we do want to have spells that you could pick up through campaign play, possibly like Tomb of the Serpent, where there could be some spells that you could learn in that campaign or during that, and then include them as part of your book. That could be rewards that you could get via the scenarios.
And magic item too, I think we talked about.
Magic items, yeah.
Magic items
as
stuff.
well.
Yeah.
So enchantment spells will hang around. That's the difference between the enchantment spells and ephemerals. Ephemerals have pretty much a singular effect. A blast, a bolt of lightning, a push someone, a move a friendly character, all that sort of stuff. Enchantments have a lot of buffs. This one, and debuffs. So this one hinders the target's dodge and cunning. This one gives you a bonus to your dodge and cunning. So those are kind of stuck together in the stack. Ineptus hinders shoot and finesse. Dexterous gives you a bonus to shoot and finesse. So you have to decide, which way you want to go. So the power of a spell is equal to the number of successes that you roll when you cast the spell. So for this spell here, the finesse, this is an enchantment. When you cast the spell, the power of it is equal to the number of successes that you roll. So let's say you roll 3 successes. Or you roll 3 die 8, and you get 3 successes, and then you would attach that spell, and you could put 3 markers on there. Now, again, unless the opponent has something that can whammy you, those power tokens are going to sit there. Like, you don't naturally have a chance of shaking that off. The enemy doesn't naturally have a chance of shaking off an enchantment that's on one of your own characters. The same is not true if you hit him with a debilitor and you cast a this one says finesse versus finesse. So for that one to work, you would have to roll more successes than the opponent. So in this example, let's say the opponent that the caster rolled 2 successes, Ramjeet only rolls 1 success. And that means the power of that spell is 2. Now, at the end of each turn, he has a chance to shake that spell off. So he could roll a recovery check at the end of the turn. Oh, look, he failed. Look, boys and girls, it says he is indomitable, and that says he can re-roll 1 recovery check per turn. Does that count for spell recovery? Of course it does. Just like it also counts for horror checks as well.
Yep.
It could be you could use that reroll on whatever you need to do. It's a spell recovery, a horror recovery, or a health recovery. So if he failed it, then he'd get to roll again and fail again, because that's how I roll.
And they hang around.
and they hang around. So if he did succeed, then he pulls one of those off. And you see, it could take him multiple turns to shake off an enchantment. There are other ways, you know, obviously there are spells that destroy enchantments. There are that can scrub counters off of them and weaken them and things like that. There are even a handful of spells where the caster or where the person with the enchantment can remove tokens to generate an effect. Enjoying my Baja Blast. Well, that's good. Oh, those Baja Blasts are tasty. So we've made it through like
20, so.
at least a couple spells though. So ephemeral spells are one-off spells. They just happen and they do the effect. But there are ephemeral spells that can affect enchantments. There are ephemeral spells that can. This one targets the number of enchantments in play. Go ahead and hit me off on a 4, babe. This one can target a number of enchantments that are in play. This one does apparel. This one does targets a number of enemies up to the power of the spell. Each target move each target 1 inch directly away from the caster. It doesn't seem like a lot, but there's time when this could be a game-winning spell, when you need to move somebody off of a plot point and something like this. And this lets you move multiple characters. Multiple characters could be moved off. Obscuro, and this one I know is one that I'm going to have questions, so you guys right now are going to be on the inside track on Obscuro. What Obscuro does is that it lets you target a number of friendly characters. So you would roll your power of the spell, right? And you roll 3 2s, so that means I just got a
Hunting vortex.
No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I get to draw a card. I'm going to shuffle.
X horror cards.
I get to draw X horror cards. I rolled 3 2s. I get, oh, there it is. That's the hunting vortex.
And a horror card.
Oh, I get
right?
one. Yes, I get 1 horror card plus the hunting vortex.
All right,
appears.
your horror is.
Whatever.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're determined. Okay.
All right. So let's say I actually did roll a success or 2.
Let's fake it. Okay.
Let's fake it then and pretend that I can roll successes. So what Obscuro does is it lets you put a number of friendly characters, including the caster, into hiding. It is important to understand that it does not keep them in hiding. It does not help them stay in hiding. All it does is it masks them for that moment. So it's up to them to remain in hiding. So it's not this huge groundbreaking, oh, it makes everybody go invisible and it keeps them invisible. Not really. What it really does is it just gives you that moment where they go into hiding, but then they can be spotted as normal. Now, there are other spells, you know, that could boost up your finesse and help you stay hidden, and other spells that could do stuff. But Obscuro by itself, all it does is put you into hiding. But it can also do multiple characters at the same time. Ignis Ictus is going to be everyone's favorite spell. It is the blasty spell. It is an opposed spell. Remember that the opposed spells, the power of the spell is not normally affected by the roll. So this is Ignis Ictus says might versus might. So let's say Ramjeet here has it. He rolls 3 die 8. He gets double 7s. And the other person rolls 1 6 and a 2. So Ramjeet's spell, he rolled more successes. So the spell is successful and it has a power of 2. It does not have a power of 1. You don't subtract their successes from that to figure out what the power is. If the power is successful, then it has a power equal to the number of successes that you rolled. So don't get that twisted sideways. The magic rules are very consistent, I feel like, with the regular Pulp Alley rules. There's not a lot of, like, the opposed roll is not combat. It uses the opposed check rule. Like for hiding, you have to roll more successes to be successful. For other opposed checks of the game that are in there, it'll talk about an opposed check. All you have to do is roll more successes than the opponent. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. You don't have to roll a 4. You know, it's if you rolled 3 4s and they rolled 1 9, well then it was successful. Anyhow, there's going to be a lot more about it. Bessy tells me that I'm nearing the end. We also have a bunch of cool magic items.
Oh, we're past the end.
I wanted to let you guys know, and it's kind of a weird thing, but I guess in a way I did it. Maybe you guys understand why I did this. There are no level 1 spells. So to be a spellcaster, you've got to be special. And we've always considered level 1 characters to be, you know, average Joes on the street sort of deal. And they're not the sort of folks that are normally going to have spells. So you've got to be at least level 2 to have spells. And then on the spells, it has the level of that you're required to be up on the top corner. I got it, baby.
Okay, go.
So it tells you up there, so these are level 2 spells. You got to be level 3 for this spell. You got it, right? So there are no level 1 spells, and the reason it's done that way is because you can't be level 1 and be a spellcaster anyway. So there you go. All right. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. I think it's important to remember that it could be another couple months because just because I have a prototype deck made does not mean that it still needs the tires kicked. We still need to go through and double check. Go through and double check everything. So it could easily be another couple months before we're really ready to roll this out.
3 hours.
But and the truth is that I don't set a time limit. I don't set a release date and try and work towards it. Instead, I work on it until I'm happy with it, and then it gets released. I have to be happy with it because we're going to be playing with this. We're going to be playing with the magic rules, so we want to make sure that it works because we play. If you haven't already,
I'm a complainer, so he will know.
Yeah. If you haven't already, please take a moment right now and hit the like button for us. We are going to be starting our Lemuria campaign this Sunday. I think we have Vern and David Lowe signed up to play. So we are going to, and we're going to start introducing the magic rules during the campaign. We'll probably start off with some of the add-on characters. If you're familiar with the Lemuria campaign, when you go to the underworld kingdom of Lemuria, you can meet up with other allies that will join you, and we may try and shoehorn them into being spellcasters rather than trying to start off with making the player characters spellcasters. We may eventually get to that if they build up experience points and want to learn it, but campaigns would be pretty tough for a leader to learn to become a spellcaster in one scenario or in one campaign. Maybe by the halfway point, depending on how much they get. Lemuria campaign starts this Sunday. Will DW and I be able to use the spell cards this Sunday? Probably not, Vern.
Oh my gosh.
Probably not. This as the introduction to Lemuria. It really is about... Bye-bye, darlings.
Bye.
Are you taking them with you?
I get to see you, but I gotta go.
Okay, bye. I've been deserted. Probably not. I'm sorry about that. I really wanted to, but it doesn't work for me, I guess. I don't think there's going to be any extra allies in play that'll have magic. None of the player characters are starting off as magic users. That's going to have to be earned through the campaign. So Yeah, I doubt that we'll have magic this week. Yeah, I seriously doubt that it'll happen this week. So we'll just have to see where it starts getting introduced. As the leagues start picking up extra characters, Lemurians start joining them. We'll probably have some of those characters have magic so that they can start casting spells. Some of them will, not all of them. Some of them will be spellcasters. And that's it for tonight. We went a little bit long. Did you guys enjoy this one? Make sure you get subscribed to our little channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And that's it for tonight. Tell everybody good night, Joey.
Good night.